Welcome to the Cedar River and Iowa Central Railway, or the Crandic for short. The Crandic is a bridge route railroad connecting Kansas City, Missouri to Minneapolis-St. Paul through central Iowa. Our passengers and agricultural and industrial customers expect timely, consistent, and safe service. Safety is important to the Crandic because it not only ensures satisfied customers, but an enjoyable time for the crew and visitors. As a crew member on the Crandic, you are responsible for your safety as well as the safety of your co-workers and the public. The rules of the railroad are there for your safety. By learning the rules and following them consistently, you are doing your part. The signals on the railroad are an important way for the dispatcher to communicate with train crews. The dispatcher's job is to move trains over the railroad safely and efficiently. The train crew's job is to follow the signals so two trains do not collide. It is possible to have a cornfield meet if a crew does not follow the signal indications. You should always pay attention to signals and know what the different signal aspects mean. If you ever have problems with seeing a signal, radio the dispatcher and confirm what the signal should show. The Crandic has two different kinds of signals, semaphores and the new colored searchlight signals. The most important signal aspect is the full stop. A horizontal indication on a semaphore, or all red lights on a lighted signal. This signal means that you must stop your train and you may not pass the signal. A yellow light signal, or a diagonal semaphore signal, means to slow down and proceed with caution because the next signal you see may be red. A green light signal, or a vertical semaphore signal, means that you may proceed. Always proceed with caution. Even though the signal may be green, you never know what might be on the tracks ahead. However, remember that a green does not allow you to exceed the speed limit. A flashing red signal means that someone is switching cars in the area and has time and track authority for them only. Always call the dispatcher if you aren't expecting to see this signal. Safety is important with switches. You always want to know where your train is going. Every mainline switch is controlled by the dispatcher remotely or by the local crew if the dispatcher permits it. If you need to control a switch, call the dispatcher first to get permission.
Dispatch, this is train 241 at North Des Moines. So we need to switch at North Des Moines and we're requesting track.
Once the light goes green, use your key to switch the lock from CTC or remote to local or manual control. Once you have moved the key to local control, you can use the local control switch on the fascia to operate the track turnout switch. When you are finished with your switching, turn the key to CTC to return the track switch to dispatcher control. You will only be able to remove your key when it is in the CTC position. Once you've removed your key, call the dispatcher to tell him that you've removed your key. As a crew member, you need to know how to read your train orders so that you'll know where your train goes, what cars you pick up or drop off, and any special information about your train. Sometimes, these special instructions are reminders of rules that you should follow all of the time. When you get your crew call, the first thing you need to do is obtain the paperwork for your train. If anything unusual happens along the way that may require equipment repairs, write a note on your paperwork so that repair crews can add it to their work list. After you finish your run and have tied down your train, the last thing you do is sign your paperwork and return it to the dispatcher's office. It is important to always use your radio to receive and give information. An informed crew is a safe crew. Don't be afraid of the radio. Always make sure that you have fresh batteries in your radio when you receive it. Make sure you are using the push-to-talk option and are not on the voice-activated option. The headsets are plugged into the radio and the push-to-talk button is held down to have the push-to-talk option. Listen before you talk. You do not want to interrupt someone else's call or the dispatcher's directions to another train.
Dispatcher to Creston Turn, you are Bennington Yard, this is 1241. Turnouts.
When you make a radio call, push the push-to-talk button, wait a second, and then start to talk. If you start to talk too soon, the start of what you say will be chopped off.
41 has arrived North Des Moines. 241 has arrived North Des Moines.
This can all seem complicated, but with practice and helpful crewmates, it will all become habit. Let's watch a crew and see how it works. A run starts with a crew being called. Once you get that call, go to where your train starts and get your paperwork. Acquire your train. Test to make sure that you have control of your train. Read your paperwork and then let the dispatcher know that you are ready.
Dispatch, this is train 241. We're manned and ready to leave Minneapolis.
The dispatcher will give you instructions to start your run.
Dispatcher answering train 241. I understand you're ready to leave Minneapolis. You are cleared out of staging to Jettis Junction and pick up your signals there.
Once you are out on the railroad, signals will tell you when it is safe to proceed. Always watch the signals. While you are waiting for a signal to change, this is a good time to make sure that you know what you have to get done. The dispatcher will not necessarily call you on the radio when he changes a signal.
Bennington Yard, this is train 241.
Go ahead, 241. This is Bennington Yard.
241's at Jettis Junction, needs instructions on entering the yard.
241, you may proceed into track 2 in Bennington Yard.
When your train is in a yard having cars added by the yard crew, you have some time to wait. If you have any personal business to take care of, now is your chance. If a dangerous situation happens, make sure that nobody else will be affected. Once the yard crew finishes switching your train, they will return it to you. Call the dispatcher and tell them that you are ready to go.
Dispatch, this is train 241. We've finished our switching in Bennington Yard and are ready to depart.
Dispatcher answering 241. I understand. Pull up to the dwarf and watch for your signals.
If you have switching to do, request clearance from the dispatcher. The dispatcher will clear you to switch when it is safe.
Dispatch, this is train 241 at North Des Moines. We need to switch at North Des Moines and we're requesting track time and control of the switch at North Des Moines.
Okay, track and time has been granted to train 241 at North Des Moines. You have permission to hand operate the turnouts. Call me when you're done.
Remember that the flashing red signal means that you may switch. Notify the dispatcher when you are finished, and the dispatcher will set you up to proceed.
Dispatch, this is train 241. We're through with track and time at North Des Moines.
Dispatcher answering train 241. I understand you're releasing track and time at North Des Moines. Just watch for your signals to proceed on to Creston.
When you meet another train, the dispatcher will use the signals to tell you when to proceed. Once you have finished your run, make sure that the lights are switched off, dispatch your locomotives, sign your paperwork, and return it to the dispatcher. A railroad has many jobs, and safety depends on all of us. If we all follow the rules and do our jobs, we can all keep the railroad running smoothly and safely. Welcome aboard.